Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Pastor Eric Brown with Daily Manna for your soul. Happy Monday to you. I pray the Lord is blessing you real good right now. Look, just want to bring you a word of encouragement, something to help you along your way. And today, that word is what God has for you is still for you. Oh, can I tell you, despite the enemy looking into your future, despite the enemy trying to disrupt God's plans for you, despite the enemy trying to derail you, despite the enemy throwing obstacles and stumbling blocks and trials and tribulations and temptations all in your path, despite all of that and his best efforts, I'm here to tell you that what God has for you is still for you. You know, I'm reminded of Moses in the Bible. Over there in the book of Exodus, Moses was born. He was born to a time in the lives of the children of Israel where they were in captivity, they were in slavery in Egypt. And it was during this particular time that Pharaoh had issued a decree saying that all the male Hebrew children that were born should be put to death as soon as they were born. They were not to be allowed to live at all. But when Moses' mother looked at him, she saw that he was a goodly child, and she made up her mind that she was going to hide him as best she could, and she hid him. She hid him for as long as she could, but there came a time when she couldn't hide him any longer. So she fashioned a basket, and she put the baby Moses in the basket and pushed the basket out into the Nile River. And as God's providence would have it, Pharaoh's daughter found the basket, and she looked upon the child, and she loved the child, and she decided to bring the child back to the palace and raise him as her own. Moses was being raised as an Egyptian prince for 40 years, and around that time, Moses was walking about in Egypt, and he saw an Egyptian beating down a fellow Israelite. And the man was being throttled and choked about his neck. And Moses intervened, but he went too far and he killed the Egyptian. That series of events caused him to have to run and go on the lam and hide out and be a fugitive. And he ran to the backside of the desert. Now it would look like that God had already saved him one time, because he should have been put to death as a baby. And God had put him in the Pharaoh's palace and looked like he was doing pretty good. But now he's going to have to run to the backside of the desert. And on the backside of the desert, who was going to find him there? On the backside of the desert, he was there for 40 years as a shepherd, one of the lowest occupations you could ever have. What was God going to do with a now 80-year-old Moses that was hanging out on the backside of the desert for the last 40 years? What was God going to do with him? It looked like his life was wasted. It looked like the enemy had tricked up the game and it messed him up so bad he'll never be able to come back. But I'm here to tell you, you better know that this is true, that what God has for you is still for you. See, God saved Moses for a reason, and he was soon to let him know, because one day Moses was walking about the desert tending the flocks of sheep, and he saw a bush that was burning that would not be consumed. And Moses went to check out the bush, and when he went to check out the bush that would not be consumed, he got a word from the Lord. The Lord told him, "This is holy ground. Take off your shoes." The Lord told him to listen to me. I got some things I want you to do. God began to lay out the plans that he had for Moses, the plan for Moses to go back to Egypt and to be a deliverer for his people. Now, Moses had all kind of excuses. Moses said, I'm not a man that speaks plain. I stutter when I talk, but God said, "Don't worry about that. I'll send somebody to talk with you, and I'll give you the words to say." Moses said, "I don't even know who sent me. Who's sending me?" He said, "Let them know that I am has sent you. But this is the word I want you to give to Pharaoh. Let my people go." And I'm here to tell you that's what God had for Moses, and that's what Moses did. Moses went back and he demanded that Pharaoh let God's people go. And through a series of events, God showed himself strong and mighty. And at the words and at the hand of Moses, Pharaoh let the children of Israel go. I'm just here to tell you, I don't care how you get started. I don't care how Moses got started. I don't care what he had to go through. I don't care the twists and turns, the ups and the downs. At the end of the day, what God had for him was still for him. And I just want to encourage you with that today, that no matter what you're going through, no matter how many times you've fallen down, no matter No matter how many times you felt like giving up, no matter how many times you gave up, no matter how many times people have put you down, no matter how many times you think you failed God, you are not disqualified. You are not disqualified. Give your heart back to God. Listen to his word, and you will soon find out that what God has for you is still for you. That ministry is still for you. That anointing is still for you. The using of your gifts and talents is still for you. Oh, that powerful witness is still for you. That healing that God promised you is still for you. That victory that you seek is still for you. I'm here to tell you, no matter what the enemy tries, what God has for you is still for you. Look, you have an awesome day. You be blessed of the Lord. You be encouraged and go about your day. You know you're going to get all that God has for you. Have an awesome day. Peace.